Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. Are you stuck in the corporate rat race, worrying about layoffs, and longing to take control of your destiny? This is the place for frustrated executives like you who want to escape the grind, live life on your own terms, and build wealth. Whether you're ready to make a full transition into franchise ownership or want to start building a side business along your corporate job, Pete guides you every step of the way. He'll talk about how to create career and income security, diversify your assets and income, and live life on your own terms. Your path to controlling your own destiny starts now.
Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. My name is Pete Gilfillan. I am a nationally recognized franchise consultant, the international best-selling author of the book Hire Yourself. I'm a proud corporate escapee and certainly an entrepreneur. On the Hire Yourself podcast, I always try to answer a question. And the question I want to answer today is this: why are more white-collar positions being eliminated? And I think a little bit about a story I just read in 2023 about this large global company. And they decided, it was a technology company, and they decided to eliminate 20% of their middle management. And that was pretty shocking. It was a bold move. They decided to streamline. They were, for lack of better terms, looking at, do we need all these middle managers? And so we're seeing a big trend of more and more companies trying to decide, do we need as white collar workers, or do we need as many white collar workers? There was a great Wall Street Journal article back about a year ago. It's the disappearing white collar job. So let's talk a little bit about why, or specifically the 10 reasons why senior level white collar positions are rapidly being eliminated. So one of the reasons why is that when we talk about these businesses, they're leveraging automation as well as AI driven efficiency. The idea behind this is that they don't need as many traditional executives because they have the ability to look at the data very quickly. They have automation going like that, whether it's forecasting, HR, stuff like that. Bottom line is that AI automation is replacing traditional jobs. That was listed in the Harvard Business Review. So number two, and this is a big one, and we've always kind of seen this, is cost cutting, right? Just the idea of cutting these middle management, senior level positions. That's a way to maximize profit, especially as they're trying to get their quarterly numbers, hit their quarterly numbers. Bottom line, one of the fastest ways they can do this is by cutting jobs. I think it's a little short-sighted, but bottom line is that companies now are cutting jobs to maximize profitability. That was in an article in Forbes. They talk a little bit about that. Number three is that they're just flattening organizations. So they're just taking layers out. I started with a large company like Ford. We had lots of layers. You're seeing companies just compress or take out layers, or simply put, flattening the organizations. So you see the rise of flat management structures. That is also a great article in Forbes. Number four is the rise of remote work and decentralized operations. So although we're kind of seeing a little bit of pullback with this remote work, they don't need as many people from that standpoint. Bottom line is that teams can be spread across the country, and it is just easier to have that where we don't have to have as many people in the office. Or a great article by The Economist talked about the end of the office, how remote work is redefining the corporate structure. Another reason, or the fifth reason, is this digital transformation, technology integration. So we're seeing technology do more and more. So executives are put in a position where if they're not tech savvy, they're less familiar with the technology, and that could be a big thing. So bottom line is there's a great article in, again, Forbes, the role of digital transformation and redefining corporate leadership. A sixth reason is the changing workforce demands and company culture. So it's now where workforce is really looking for more flexibility from that standpoint, and many organizations are eliminating senior level positions in favor of flatter, more collaborative working organizations. So again, this idea that it's just easier for them to have, I guess, more lower level people that are doing a lot of the same things. And we're seeing that kind of demand or reshaping the corporate leadership. The Harvard Business Review had a great article on that. And then we're seeing with mergers and acquisitions where companies take over, they buy them. One of the things they do is reduce the number of employees, redundancy from that standpoint. So that's having a real impact. The Wall Street Journal had an article, Mergers and Acquisitions, the impact of executive jobs or impact on executive jobs. So we're seeing more and more of these mergers, acquisitions, and downsizing really impacting the white collar jobs. And then performance-based accountability and results. You're seeing more and more companies have the ability to leverage AI and things like that to measure the results. And if executives fail to deliver on the performance expectations, a lot of times they're being eliminated and adapted to kind of new employees that can drive that performance. Or a Forbes article, performance-based leadership, why executives are being held more accountable in today's world. And then there's just a shift to more data-driven decision making, right? We are now in the world where we can get so much data thanks to AI and data scientists and all that kind of stuff. So big data is reshaping corporate leadership, or simply put, with as much data, we don't need as many executives or the new kind of leadership. And the 12th is that the rise of entrepreneurship and innovation on the corporate bureaucracy. So you're seeing more and more small companies coming into space. These executives are becoming entrepreneurs. They're starting their own businesses. And the idea is that they don't need a lot of infrastructure for these new companies. So the rise of the entrepreneur leadership in the corporate setting, the idea behind this, they keep it slim, they keep it light or low overhead, and they drive significant business. So bottom line is that large corporations are reshaping middle management or management. They're basically taking out a lot of middle management. They're flattening their organizations because they can or they want to. So if you're ever in a position where you feel like you're going to be one of those executives that is put into career transition, pushed out of your company before you're ready, then you should look at or setting up ways in which you can protect yourself so that you're not clocked out of your job. You're not clocked out of your income. And there's many different ways you can do that. One of the ways is considering investing in a franchise business. Maybe you're involved in it on the side, so it's a little side supplemental income. Maybe it allows you to diversify your asset income, or maybe decide to just leave the corporate rat race like I did. Whatever it may be, I'm here to help from that standpoint. And with that, have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the Hire Yourself podcast. Pete's here to help you break free from the corporate rat race, take control of your destiny, and finally live life on your own terms. Whether that's jumping into franchise ownership full-time or starting it as a side hustle. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a fellow frustrated executive, and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Ready to start building your bridge to freedom? Visit hireyourself.com for resources, insights, and a clear path forward. Until next time, take charge, build your future, and live life on your own terms.